I keep my goals to myself, cause whenever I share it with folks, they get a look upon their face and their memory floats to a time where their goals and the stars ain't...
AEW Dynasty is officially over and done with. It's in the books. As per usual, this was a long and drawn-out pay-per-view. I have no idea why these AEW pay-per-views must last 4.5 hours. It makes no sense. It's dumb. People have to work the next day. It makes zero sense. Be fair to your audience. Be fair. Be considerate. Have a heart. Dynasty overall, to me, was a mid-level show. There were a lot of matches on the card I could have done without. I feel that if they would have cut that trios match, which was the co-main, if they would have cut that shit off, we probably would have gotten out of there at least by 11:30. At least by 11:30. Because MJF and Kenny Omega, that lasted a good close to 30 minutes, maybe 35 minutes. But that was way too long. Way too long. But it is what it is. I mean, it's AEW. What are we going to do about it? So, we're going to go ahead and get into AEW Dynasty from April the 12th, 2026. So, I did not watch the pre-show. However, I am going to go over it briefly. So, Alex Windsor, she defeated Marina Shafir. Who cares? Well, a night ago, she had an interview on the show. She said nothing really of any importance. Then Camille showed up, who's been gone for, I want to say maybe over a year. She attacked Willow Nightingale and everything. And then she ended up defeating Big Ann. I have no idea who that is. And then Jungle Boy Jack Perry defeated Mark Davis. Who cares? And then Divine Dominion, they defeated Hyann and Maya World to retain the AEW Women's World Tag Team Championships. Okay, that's fine. All right. Great to see Camille back. Great to see her back. She should have been back months ago. But better late than never. So at least she's back, and she's got something to do. So at least she can go after some championship gold. That's always nice. Because I thought that Camille may have been in the doghouse for a while. And she has been. Like, she's been gone for at least a year. All right. This leads us into the first match of the night. The Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson, they defeat the Don Callis family, which consisted of Kazuchika Okada and Tenosuke Takeshita. I didn't watch this. I'm not a fan of the Young Bucks, so I didn't care about this at all. I just saw the finish, however. So, towards the end of the match, the Bucks, they were going for the TK driver onto Okada. Then Takeshita grabbed the ankle of Nick Jackson. He let go, and he basically walked out of the match. And this allowed for Okada to eat the TK driver for the 1-2-3. I was about to say TKO. But he ate the TK driver for the 1-2-3, and the Bucks win. So, this is fine. And then the Bucks, they leave the ring post-match. Takeshita flips off Okada. And there's that. So, this is fine. Clearly, this is going to set up for Okada, Takeshita at Double or Nothing, more than likely. We know he's going to get kicked out of the Don Callis family, which they've been teasing that for months and months. So this is fine. Better late than never. But this was just to get the Young Bucks on the card. So whatever. I don't give a shit. All right, moving on. This leads us into Ricochet defeating Chris Jericho. This match was okay, but why did Jericho have to lose his first match back after being gone from AEW for a year? This makes no sense. Ricochet did not need this win. He didn't. Jericho did Jericho things. He pandered to the crowd. Ricochet's lackeys got involved. Bishop Khan and Leon, they got involved, and they ended up beating up on Chris Jericho. And then Ricochet ended up winning via the Lion Salt for the 1, 2, 3, and that's how Ricochet wins. Again, I have no idea why Jericho didn't win his first match back. It makes no sense. So whatever. It's fine, I guess. Do I care about this? No, not really. All right, moving on. This leads us into Darby Allin versus Andrade El Idolo. And let me tell you guys, this match, in my opinion, was the match of the fucking night. We got the matches of the night, in my opinion, just 3 matches in. This was great. This was great. So, Andrade made Darby Allin work for this win. So, this match was hard-hitting. Andrade ended up getting Eddie chance in this match as well, which is great. He ended up doing the 3 Amigos in the match. That was great. He ended up kissing a sexy mamacita, which was great. He took off her sunglasses and they took a picture together. Total plant. She was a total plant. Like this chick was bad. She was a bad mamacita. So that's great. For some odd reason, the crowd wanted him to take his pants off. Which is weird because 90% of AEW's audience is mainly male, and they were in Canada, and there were some females there, but not attractive ones, if you catch my drift. So I get it though. It is what it is. So Andrade hit his Andrade elbow. Darby kicked out of that. Darby went for the code red. Andrade kicked out of that. He was about to go for the DM, and then Darby manages to hit to lock in a roll up for the 1, 2, 3. That's fine. This makes sense. We knew that Darby was going to win anyway. This is fine. This is great. So post match, Andrade was kind of frustrated and he's surprised at the same time, which is fine. So Darby offers him a handshake, and Andrade accepts, and the two of them, they shake hands, which is fine. So clearly they're going to turn Andrade babyface. I like this. So we don't need Andrade in the Don Callis family, right? The Don Callis family fucking suck, and I have no idea why Andrade or Takeshita, while they're still in the Don Callis family, right? It just doesn't need to happen. So, there is that. Moving on from that, this leads us into FTR. Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler, they defeat Edge and Christian, and they retain the AEW World Tag Team Championships. This match was fun too, a little bit slow, because Edge and Christian are the same age as the Hardys over in TNA, and this match was pretty okay. FTR getting the win is fine. They ended up winning via the Shatter Machine. So in the middle of the match, FTR, they were going to bring in the Tag Team Championship belts, and they tried to use it. The referee got distracted. Dax ended up busting open Edge with the belt. So Edge was supporting a Crimson Mask, which was great. So Stokely, he got involved. Christian threw him in the ring to break up a pinfall, which was kind of funny. Then towards the end of the match, FTR, they regained control. They threw Christian into the announce table. And then Edge was going to go for a spear onto Cash. Cash got out of the way, and FTR hit the Shatter Machine for the 1, 2, 3. and FTR, they retain. So this is fine. This actually makes sense. I'm a fan of this. It seems like they're probably going to still lean into the triple threat match at Double or Nothing. Rumor has it, or this is just online talk, that they might end up doing a ladder match for this, which to me, I don't think that needs to happen. Again, Edge and Christian are in their 50s. They don't need to be doing stuff like that, in my opinion. They really don't. But I could see that happening. Maybe they do like a triple threat, Falls Count Anywhere match or something like that. I don't know, but Edge and Christian and ladders at their age, I don't know. And we all know how Tony Khan wants to, create moments from the past. Clearly, it would be a homage to the Hardys, Edge and Christian, and the Dudleys. There are a lot of matches that they had at SummerSlam 2000, so that's really what that would be for. So I mean that's fine, I guess, So whatever. All right, moving on. This leads us into the Casino Gauntlet for the vacated AEW TNT Championship, and that match was won by your boy Kevin Knight, which is great. So this was good. This was good. So Tommaso Ciampa was the first one out. Then Roosh. Bandito was in this thing. Speedball was in this thing. Pac was in here. Jenna Garcia was in here. Anthony Bowens was in here. And Kevin Knight was the last guy in. Willie Yuta was in this thing as well. So basically Kevin Knight gets the win. He ends up winning via a UFO splash for the 1, 2, 3. So this is fine. This makes perfect sense. I like this. This was kind of okay. Everyone got their stuff in. So I mean, Pac ended up doing a Black Arrow off the top rope, taking out a bunch of guys. That was fine. Roosh came in like a ball of fire and kicked a lot of ass. Same thing with Tommaso Ciampa. Both of those guys work very, very well together. I would love to see a match between Roosh and Ciampa. That would be amazing. That would be pretty fun. Kevin Knight winning, basically, it's the right decision. Like, why wouldn't you have him in this position? And I like it. So, good stuff there. Moving on. This leads us into Tekla and Jamie Hayter for the AEW Women's World Championship. So before the match took place, we go to ringside. There's a shot of a quote-unquote pub set up for the Brawling Birds. So Alex Winter, she's roughed up, basically. She tells her mate, Jamie Hayter, it's time for her to go out there and get hers. So that's cool. So I like that. So Tekla ends up defeating Jamie Hayter. Match was pretty okay. I mean, Tekla's good. Jamie Hayter's good as well, but it didn't get that oomph like I thought we were going to get, basically. So Tekla ends up winning via a roll-up, and she put her foot on the rope for the 1, 2, 3, basically. Jamie went for the Haterade. The champ got out of dodge for that. And like I said, it was a roll-up, 1, 2, 3. That was it. This is fine. It was shocking that we got no Mercedes to show up and confront Tekla, but there's always Wednesday for that. There's always Dynamite for that. So okay, that's fine. Pretty good shit there. Again, what do you do with Jamie Hayter going forward? You're probably gonna end up putting her back in the tag team division and keep her there. I'm surprised Daniel Luna didn't show up here. Although there's a chance that she could show up on Dynamite or Collision. Again, I'm still holding out hope that she goes to WWE. That's just me. But more than likely, they probably already have her on speed dial with AEW, more than likely. But, it is what it is. But Tekla winning is the right decision. I guess Jamie Hayter will continue to do tag team stuff with Miss Ospreay. Speaking of Ospreay, Jon Moxley defeated Will Ospreay to retain the AEW Continental Championship. This match was 20 minutes. I thought that that this was going to go about a good 30 to 60 minutes. Thank the creator above that it did not happen like that. So that is good. Basically, at the start of the match, Ospreay went for a hidden blade. He got a massive pop from the crowd. Really good reaction for that. He ended up doing another one, and Moxley fell down to the floor. So Ospreay did the Ospreay things because he can only wrestle one style of match. So Ospreay throws Moxley into the steel steps and everything a little bit. Then later on in the match, Moxley does the power driver on the steel steps. This was about maybe 10 minutes in, if I can remember correctly. I think it was about 12 minutes in. So Ospreay sold that pretty okay. Then Will Ospreay was able to lock in the Bulldog choke that Moxley does. Moxley fought out of that. Moxley ended up doing the power driver on the steel steps. Ospreay sold it well. He got back into the ring at a count of 8. Well, no, a 9 count. So they're doing a WWE shit, basically, right? So Moxley then does a lariat. He hits 2 paradigm shifts. Ospreay kicks out, which is fucking insane. That should have been the finish. And then Moxley drops Ospreay with the Death Rider DDT for the 1, 2, 3, and Jon Moxley retains. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, this is so dumb. Again, I don't understand why you can't do count-out victories in wrestling now. It makes zero sense. Count-out victories are just as good, right? But it is what it is. Will Ospreay losing this match, it's fine, man. What do you do with him going forward? I don't know. I really don't. Maybe you do the rematch Moxley Ospreay at Double or Nothing, because that's one of their big shows coming up in May. So we got to go that route. So I don't know what kind of match they could have. Maybe like a steel cage match or whatever. I don't know. But because people think that Ospreay is going to be the guy to dethrone MJF at All In, in Wembley. But that's just hearsay. So whatever. All right, moving on. This leads us into a video package. This leads us into Darby Allin. So he's being interviewed by Renee Paquette. So he said that he started his wrestling career in Everett, Washington. That's where Dynamite is taking place on Wednesday, this upcoming Wednesday. Darby says that he's watching the main event, and he's going to keep his eyes focused on that. And whoever wins, he'll see them this Wednesday on Dynamite at Spring Breakthrough. Okay, that's fine. Whatever. Moving on, this leads us into the trios match. The Dogs, Gabe Kidd, Clark Connors, Hangman Adam Page 2.0, and David Finlay. They were defeated by the Conglomeration, Roderick Strong, Orange Cassidy, and a returning Kyle O'Reilly. Kyle O'Reilly has been out for months. I want to say maybe about 8 to 10 months. I forgot how he got injured. I know Moxley put him on the shelf for a little bit, so there's that. The Conglomeration ends up winning. Who cares? I don't give a shit about this at all. Whatever. Who cares? Moving on. This leads us into the main event of the evening, finally. That being Kenny Omega and MJF for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. The entrances were cool. So Kenny Omega had a Final Fantasy-like esque entrance, which was great. MJF had a Mortal Kombat like entrance, like a double motif, which was great. He ended up having, 666 on his jacket, an upside down cross and all that. So that's interesting there. They should have had a pentagram on there. That would have been interesting if they would have done that. But I don't know. That might be a little bit too edgy for them, maybe. I don't know. But I would have done something like that, though, if I was booking this. So MJF defeats Kenny Omega. This match was way too fucking long. Omega did probably a good 15 V-triggers in this match. 15 at least. At least 15 V-triggers. This thing was insane. Way too long. Omega ended up doing a one-wing angel off the top rope. So an avalanche one-wing angel. MJF rolled out of the ring. That should have really been the finish, but it wasn't, which kind of makes sense. So Omega, in the middle portion of the match, he brought a table in. He ended up doing a double foot stomp on the back part of the table. It broke a little bit. They ended up doing a ref bump. So MJF threw Bryce Remsburg into Omega. Omega hit Bryce Remsburg by accident with the V trigger. Omega ended up going into Bryce Remsburg's pockets, taking out the Dynamite Diamond Ring. He ended up using it as a weapon. Omega, he dodged it. He hit another V trigger on MJF. Then MJF ended up hitting a low blow on Omega. And then MJF ended up doing a spinning tombstone piledriver through the table. He got Omega back in the ring and ended up hitting the Heat Seeker for the 1, 2, 3, and MJF retains. This match was way too fucking long. Also, Kenny spit in MJF's face, which is disgusting. He spit in his face like 2 or 3 times. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, this is weird. Are we doing like some fetish shit here? Like, what the hell? It's so damn weird. But MJF winning is the right call, right decision, so it makes sense. Whatever, man. These guys went to war, but does it really matter at the end of the day? No, it doesn't. Again, this shit was way too long for me. This is just way too long. But it is what it is, man. Like, there's nothing that can be done. I mean, I don't know. If you take away the trios match, this thing would have been about a good, probably 3.5 hours, which would have been fine. But I don't know, man. I really don't know. But overall, this show was okay. Now, it's been reported that this upcoming Wednesday on Dynamite, Spring Breakthrough, it's going to be MJF versus Darby Allin. And apparently what's going around on the rumor mill is that they're going to have Darby beat MJF on Wednesday to kind of stick it to WWE for WrestleMania or what have you. And then have MJF possibly win it back at Double or Nothing. And to me, that's a terrible idea. It's like, why not have the match at Double or Nothing? Even though we know it's going to be in Queens. It's going to be in New York City. I don't know, man. I don't fucking know. I really don't. Like, doing this, it's not going to take any shine from what WWE is doing. It's their biggest show of the year. Nothing the AEW can do is going to take anything away from WrestleMania 42. It's just not going to happen, right? WrestleMania is the granddaddy of them all. So, whatever. But, hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully it doesn't happen. So there's that. Maybe Darby loses on Wednesday and then he asks for a rematch at Double or Nothing. I think that would be great. So, there's that. All in all, this show was, like I say, to me, middle of the road type of show. But it is what it is, man. The main event was way too long for my liking. I liked the FTR Edge and Christian match. That was fun. That was pretty okay. I definitely enjoyed Andrade and Darby. That to me was the match of the night, basically. And everything else, you can kind of take it or leave it. You can kind of leave it, in my opinion. So it is what it is. I still have no idea why you got to pay $40 to watch this shit. It's ridiculous, knowing, how bad things are right now. It's just tough. But, hey, if you can afford $40 to watch this shit, more power to you. But to me, it's just not worth it. I feel that when they did this whole ordeal, you should have done, if you have a max subscription, you should be able to watch this, watch the pay-per-view not for free, but maybe like $5. Yeah, maybe $5. At least $5. At least $5 or $10. I mean, because again, modern day pro wrestling, it's not like how it was back in the day, where these pay-per-views back in the day, they were worth $50 and $60. Now they're not. Like, most of this shit, I don't care if it's WWE, AEW, TNA, whatever, MLW, GCW, it doesn't matter what promotion. You shouldn't have to be paying that much to watch this shit. Like, for real. Let's get real. Wrestling is not as popular as it once was back in the day, right? It's just not. So it is what it is, man. But all in all, Dynasty to me was a very middle of the road type of show, and I could have done without. To me, it was a 3-match show. Darby and Andrade, match of the night. MJF and Kenny Omega, second best match of the night. Although it was a little bit way too long, and I really enjoyed FTR and Edge and Christian, and I also liked Kevin Knight winning the vacated TNT Championship. I thought that was good too. So basically, you could say it was a 4-match show that was kind of worthwhile. But what did you guys think of Dynasty? Let me know. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.